6 p.m. This is a workshop meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. I'd ask if everyone please rise to salute our nation's flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Dunleavy.
Here.
Councilman Costa.
Here.
Amato.
Here.
Delripa.
Here.
Hudson.
Here.
Sondermeyer.
Here.
Gassie.
Also with us, our municipal clerk, Brianna Calabro, our borough attorney, Fred Semrau, our CFO, Donna Molino, and our treasurer, Sherry Gallagher. Thank you all for being here. This is an official meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale on December 27, 2017. The date, time, place of this official meeting is faxed and mailed to all local news media posted here at Borough Hall. We have no presentations. We have no early executive, no non-agenda. So at this time, we need a motion for early public comment. Who makes that motion?
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reserved for agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, motion to close early.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reports. Bree, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Fred?
Mayor, the only thing I would mention is what we just discussed a moment ago, just what I think is another instance of a meaningless lawsuit, and that is an objection to a permit that was issued by the DEP. And I don't know how much you want me to go into detail about it, but it's really a suit against the DEP asking for a stay of a project at which the borough is working on. I don't know how much you want to...
Yeah, I mean, you know, as you all know, Sloan Park, this pertains to Sloan Park. We had an objector, and probably had a 2-year plus delay to the whole process. We had our professionals document their concern of additional flooding, which we believe was proven otherwise, that the design will actually lower the floodplain. DEP issued our permits. We've begun the project.
Right.
Now, Fred.
Right, now the objector is seeking to stop the project after all of this, so they've asked the appellate division for the project to be stayed until they have exhausted their appeals. But the DEP, who I spoke to today, is going to oppose that, and so are we. That brief will be due on Friday. But again, I think as the mayor said, this is, they had all of their rights and all of their rights of appeal, and the DEP issued the permit. So we'll keep you posted. But the request was to stop the project until such time that they've exhausted all of these appeals, to which I don't think at this point that would be appropriate, considering you're under contract and you've gone through the permitting process. So, and that's my report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any council member have anything?
I do the garden. We actually have some open plots at the garden, so I'll be advertising this coming week for anyone that's interested. It'll be first come, first serve.
Okay, anyone else? Just a couple things I have. Van Dam Ave is under construction. All the storm drains and manholes are being repaired. Concrete should begin soon, and overall paving. Leary Ave pre-construction meeting is May 16th. Henyon Ave, we're looking to do a change order on Leary to make that pavement job, because it is a small part of Leary's project. Councilman Sondermeyer, D'Amato, myself met with the engineer on the Leisure Basketball Court to start looking at design ideas. As you all know, we had a terrible accident in front of Borough Hall. The individual was cited for numerous violations. We will be going through our joint insurance fund for damages, which are substantial. So that's all in the works and hopefully settled quickly. Yep.
If I could just commend those who worked on, I mean, when I came by the next morning, it was almost impossible to tell something major had happened.
Yeah, Al Gallagher, I was with him when it happened, and he immediately called men in and secured the site, and within 24 hours had it cleared.
I mean, Butler Electric was here.
And Butler Electric, too.
They were so fast.
Yeah, so good point, Rich. Thanks for bringing that up. On tonight's agenda is a county corridor grant. I'll talk in detail when we get to that point. DPW work has been occurring down there for improvements and paving and drainage. walls and things, so if you haven't had a chance, go check it out. Tilcon's been a big help in supplying a lot of that work for us, or material, I should say. Our flood mapping for the Van Dam section is in the works, waiting on, I get a lot of calls from the residents, as the renewals come up for flood insurance, waiting on FEMA to, bless Mr. Agnoli's mapping, and hopefully we can get that done before the summer. Al Gallagher filed our recycling grant. We're in the range of about an $8,000 grant, which is good. It's up from about $1,500 to $2,000. Not a lot of money in recycling, but Al's done a great job at getting the apartments, the businesses, et cetera, and all that helps us generate our revenue here. Borough email conversion will happen Thursday. We're changing our email provider. So the borough will be without email from 3 p.m. Thursday till Monday morning. So I'm sure Fred's smiling because I can't email him for a couple days. Mary Street is close to conclusion. Fred has rendered an opinion. We had surveyed on Mary Street. We have to notice one or two, possibly some residents on that, and then we can take ownership of that street there. For those who do not know, D4 Properties was approved on Main Street. It's a new office building with housing upstairs. We will be negotiating the affordable housing component with that, looking to build some increased revenue in our Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which, we're doing 3 grants per year, helping our existing residents who qualify. So hopefully that project will help replenish some of those funds. So that's all I have at this time. I need a motion now for resolution 2018 5.1 through 5.5, the consent agenda. Who makes that motion?
Second?
Any discussion? Just do a roll call on that, please, just to be safe, because we have a promotion.
Costa?
Yes.
Tomato?
Yes.
Delripa?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Sondemire?
Yes.
Gassie?
Yes.
Thank you. Pending items. 11A, second and final reading and public hearing. First, regarding the budget, we have ordinance 11-2018, our 2018 index rate cap bank ordinance. Can I have a public notice statement, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News. Copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
And who makes that motion?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Calendar year 2018, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
I need a motion now for the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak to 11-2018, the cap bank ordinance, please come on up. Seeing no one, motion to close the public hearing. Who moves?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And who moves to adopt?
So moved?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tomato?
Yes.
Delripa?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Sondemire?
Yes.
Gassie?
Yes.
Costa?
Yes.
Excuse me? Item B, public hearing on our fiscal year 2018 municipal budget and adoption thereof.
Mayor, this is the time fixed for the public hearing on the municipal budget and tax resolution for 2018. The budget was approved by the governing body on March 20th. 2018 was advertised as required by law on March 23rd, 2018, together with this notice of the hearing for this time. Mayor, I have a resolution regarding the reading of the budget by title only.
Do you need a motion for the public statement?
Yes.
To read.
I need a motion to read by title. Who makes
So
that
moved.
motion?
Second?
Hudson, seconded by Delariva. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Whereas NJSA 40A 4-8 as amended provides that the budget shall be read in full at the public hearing, or it may be read by its title only if, at least 1 week prior to the date of the hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget shall be made available for public inspection in case of the county budget in each free public library, if any, in each municipality of the county, and in the free county libraries or regional libraries of the county, or in the case of a municipal budget in the free public library, if any, of the municipality and in the 3 county libraries or regional libraries located in the municipality, or if no county libraries or regional libraries are located in the municipality, the county or regional library of the county in which the municipality is located, and the public officer delegated the responsibility for delivering copies of the approved budget to the library shall forward to the governing body an attestation that such delivery was made and is made available to each person requesting the same during the said week and during the public hearing. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Bloomingdale that it is hereby declared that the conditions of NJSA 40A semicolon 4-A as amended set forth in subsections 1A and 1B have been made, and therefore the budget for 2018 shall be read by title only.
And that was resolution 5.6, correct? Could you reread that, please? No, okay.
Rich actually was asking to read this.
Okay, so now public hearing. Before I request a motion to open public hearing, just want to outline the procedure as we do each year. Each person desiring to be heard will come to the microphone, state your name and address before speaking. I'll recognize the speaker in order of those coming forth. Address all questions to the chair. Where necessary, they'll be referred to the individual, the governing body, or municipal officials who can assist in answering any questions. Questions must be confined solely to the municipal budget that is before us. School or county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and cannot be discussed or answered by this governing body. Now, can I have a motion to open the public hearing on fiscal year 2018 municipal budget? Who makes that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Your call. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak to 2018 municipal budget? This may be a first.
You can still mention it.
Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I could just go to adopt. Have that script that has you. Okay. At this time, I need a motion to adopt Resolution 2018 5.7, the 2018 municipal budget.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, that the budget hereinbefore set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated in the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorization of the amount of $7,721,725 for municipal purposes and $183,000 open space recreation, farmland, and historic preservation trust fund levy, $283,145 minimum library tax.
Great, and there's a motion for adoption. Is there any discussion or comment on the budget before we take a roll call?
Still at $25?
Yeah, just to recap for everyone, prior year 2017 to be raised by taxation was $7,659,710. And as a result of that, our 2% allowable cap would allow the 2018 budget to increase approximately $186,000 over 2017. Though the increase in 2018's budget is $62,000, which is a savings of $124,000 as it pertains to our cap. When we sat down into the budget, we were $300,000 over cap, had to make some substantial cuts, but in spite of increased cost of pension, insurance costs, police payroll up, overall payroll up, we're able to be again at the $62,000 overall increase from last year, resulting in, yes, Councilman, a $25 annual tax increase on the average home assessed at $254,000.
And John, no other changes to utility or any other budget line?
Correct. Other than what you requested, and that was done.
Yeah, that was something.
Mhm. So I want to thank Donna and Sherry for their guidance and incredible input in developing the budget. Joe Facone and Andy Pasquale, our auditors, for their guidance as well. And John, first time on the Budget Committee, and Rich, with all you had going on to be part of discussions as well. So I thank all of you. I'm very pleased with this budget. We still are keeping surplus to some degree, paying down debt. Even with our capital investments this year, which I'll explain, debt will be reducing again. So I'm very pleased with the budget, and I ask the governing body to support. So is there any other comments before I ask for a roll call?
Nope.
At this time, can I have a roll call for adoption of the fiscal year 2018 municipal budget?
Del Ripa,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato.
Thank you. At this time, I will look up and say goodbye to Donna and Sherry, 'cause I'm sure you want to go after a long day. I won't tell you. Thank you very much. Okay, next item C is second and final reading, public hearing on ordinance 13, 2018, or 2018 capital ordinance and improvements. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News. Copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
And who makes that motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Bond ordinance providing various 2018 capital acquisitions and improvements by and in the Borough of Bloomingdale in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,367,600 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,346,900 bonds or notes of the borough to finance part of the cost thereof.
And now I need a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak to 13, 2018, our capital ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Della Ripa, Hudson,
Other way.
other way. All in favor?
Aye.
Who moves to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Just a couple things. We have a lot going on, as we do each year. Big projects as Red Twig Trail, Henyon, general paving still to be fine-tuned based on the pricing. But we have a lot of grants offsetting what we're borrowing here. Additional improvements are basketball court at the Leisure Field, which again is funded by a grant, security gate at DPW, redoing our veteran monuments after the project's completed, purchase of a generator for Borough Hall. As you know, we got a grant to do other facilities, but we had issues the last storm, so that was a purchase used and is getting old, and the advice of our company that services said parts are becoming sparse. And one vehicle for DPW. But the bottom line is, when you net out our grants with our utility funding, which we're going to do in a moment, introduced by title, we will have an overall net reduction of debt, even with this new borrowing offset by grants and canceling debt, which is some on the agenda today. Projects that are completed where we're canceling loans on the books, we'll have an overall reduction of debt close to $200,000 even with new borrowing. So I'm pleased to report that. And I'm pleased to get this approved. Then in 20 or so days, we can begin getting these projects in full force. Any other comments? Can I have a roll call? Yeah.
Did we leave you talked about having iPads or some sort of.
Yes, it's in
That's
there.
in this?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Any other comment? We also have turnout here for the firemen, which is important. So, yeah, everything we discussed in our emails I sent the governing body and discussions we had in committee. Can I have a roll call, please?
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Del Ripa.
Yes.
Great. New business. You ready? I need a motion for Resolution 2018 5.8, Chapter 159, amending the newly adopted budget with a grant for the police department, a U-Tex, U-Drive, U-Pay, in the amount of $6,600. We're just adding this as a revenue to the budget. Who makes that motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Del Ripa,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Next, I need a motion for Resolution 2018 5.9, also Chapter 159, to allow us to receive the Passaic County Corridor Enhancement Grant for LED crosswalk signs in the amount of $15,070. Who makes that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Just that I successfully applied and received this 15,000 corridor grant. We need to bring some traffic calming to our pedestrian crossing areas, and these are going to be crosswalk signs. And if you look at our Main Street, we don't have signs at most of our crosswalks. We have them at one or two, but we don't have them at all of them. These will provide signs on both sides of the crosswalk that are activated when a person approaches the crosswalk, and LED lights will flash around the sign, just to hopefully bring attention to try to get people to begin to stop, because we get a lot of violations there. And the biggest one is going to be also added to Capitoline and Glenwild, where the kids cross to go to the SRD school. So I appreciate your support on this, and glad to secure these funds and not have to cost the borough the money to do so, but it's desperately needed in our downtown. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gassie,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delripa,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Next, I need a motion for 18.5.10, authorizing cancellation of receivable and reserve balance on Sloan Park. I'll explain during the discussion part. For first, who makes that motion?
Second?
Any discussion? This is the amount of $40,000. This is an old Passaic County Open Space Trust Fund grant before all of our time. That's been on the books. It was never utilized, never borrowed against, but it's on the books as debt. So no longer available, and so we're canceling it. I wish it was available, but it's not. So I just want you to be confused that it has to do with Sloan Park, but it's an old funding that was never utilized. So is the next one I'll talk about as well. So you made the motion, I need a roll call, please.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delripa,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Gassie,
Yes.
Okay, so that first motion was to cancellation of the receivable and the reserve balances. The next, I need a motion for 18.5.11, authorizing the cancellation of the general capital ordinance on the same funding. Again, it was never borrowed. If we use that money, there's no recourse to recover it, because there's no grant. That was from 2005, you can see from the ordinance number. So who makes a motion for 5.11?
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delripa,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Gassie,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Great. And now I need a motion to approve Resolution 5.12, approving and authorizing the renewal of our shared service agreement with the Board of Education for landscape services. First, who makes that motion?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? This is an amount not to exceed $10,404. It was increased 2% from renewal, and this has been sent to the Board of Ed for their approval. I just wanted to get our approval out of the way so we can move along when we get it back from the Board of Ed. Any further comment? Did I get a motion? I apologize. Roll call, please.
Delripa,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Gassie,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Thank you. Next, I need a motion for 2018-513, authorizing amendment to Butler Water Contract. Please get me a motion, and then I'll explain.
Second?
Any discussion? I sent the governing body an email. As you know, we're getting closer each day, although it's been a long time, to have our water converted to Butler. The original delay was that this permit was part of the Sloan Park application. So the original contract date was 2015. And again, as the delays were getting the permits from DEP to replace the interconnect in the park, which then goes under the river to feed into Butler's water line. Well, we did receive the permit, but when we tried to begin the project, it was determined that there is known contamination on the other side of the river at the VMC location. And it's known, it's being monitored, DEP's aware of it. But Butler was concerned, as were we, of disturbing that contamination, because then we could potentially be responsible for cleanup. It just made sense not to go into the river and deal with that. So the decision was made to move the connection to the corner of Main Street, Butler, and Hamburg Turnpike over by Elizabeth Street, which now requires a pumping station, where the original project would not have. The original project would have been forced main through the park. So as a result of that, things have changed a bit. We were always on the hook for the cost of $175,000 to fix the interconnect. But the cost of a pump station needs to be bid, and it could be between $200,000 to $350,000. So after a successful negotiation with Butler, this contract needs to be amended for a few reasons. One has nothing to do with the negotiation. It's just lowering the gallons per day. We use about 450,000 gallons a day. The original contract had 1.3 million. The DEP suggested that amount be lowered. So at the advice of Administrator Lampman from Butler, we've reduced the gallons per day to 750,000. And if we ever exceeded that, they have the supply for us, but the contract needed to be a more realistic number. Secondly, were the changes made as far as the negotiation. We are committing to the borough's cost of $250,000 for the pump station. Anything above that will be covered by Butler. Butler will then maintain the pump station in perpetuity. Butler will also pay the electric costs on the pump station, so we're not inheriting electric or maintaining electric that we pay now from Passaic Valley. So long story short, doing a calculation with Butler based on our usage, our annual savings for this conversion is going to be $210,000 a year in the supply of our public water, which will allow us to continue, I never want to say reduce rates, but maintain rate without an increase as we've been able to do since 2008. So that's what we're doing here, is amending that contract, not changing the deadline, which, the terms, which was originally 15 years. As you can see, it's a $2 per 1,000 gallon rate, but on April 1st, it was a 2% increase. That's what the original contract said. So just, I didn't want anybody to be confused and think the dates were wrong there. So we're in a good place. We're actually saving a ton of money, and the fact that we don't have to pay electric or maintain the pump station in perpetuity is good. Fred helped us get the easement satisfied. The easement where the pump station is going to go is all in place, and now we're bidding that the pump station out. So hopefully by the end of summer, fall, we can be connected.
So are we bonding 260 or 250? It's, the communication here is unclear.
We're bonding 260 because of potential, if there was any soft costs. Our commitment on the equipment is 250. I bonded 260 in case Paul had to get involved, engineering. So if you look at the bond, everything has soft costs. So it's 250 on equipment, 10,000 on miscellaneous for soft costs, which may not be used because they use a water specialist named Bill Ryden, and he's doing the bid spec, he's doing all the water calculations. So, I don't think we'll be on that cost, but if our engineer had to get involved and bill us, I just wanted to have a little bit of money there.
That's kind of a hit to the utility customers, isn't it?
No, because we're saving
210.
210,000 annually times forevermore, number one, and number two, we were already on, we were on 175 anyway. We would be bonding 175 for the interconnect if we were going that route. So it's 75,000 more as a result of the pump station. The fact that I was able to negotiate the electric in perpetuity and the maintenance is huge. We pay $50,000 a year in electric to Passaic Valley on the pump station on Matthews Ave.
What does Butler have to do with, Butler weighs 400,000, the borough owes for back sewage charges on Macapin Road? What does Butler have to do with sewer?
There was sewer line that runs down Macapin, goes under the river into Butler. For umpteen years before our time, that went into Butler and was not metered. And the borough never settled anything with Butler on the cost of that capacity being used by them. In 2013, we fixed that, we meter it. If you look at our bill from the Pequannock Sewer Authority, you'll see every year an adjustment for subflow from Butler. So going forward, we've been paying our fair share, but what wasn't paid all those years was roughly $400,000. And that is being waived as a result of this whole plan and conversion to water. If you recall, it was in the media last year or the year before, Kinnelon owned Butler, some serious sewer for, I believe, the old Harley-Davidson building, and that stretch of property. And it got ugly, and it got litigious, and...
Is that in writing somewhere, that waive fee? That they're going to waive that
An
fee?
email, no, it's not in the contract, because it's not, it's just like a
It's not going to come back and haunt us
No.
years from there, going to come, okay.
100%.
John, when you were going over the numbers as far as what we use and
Yeah.
what we're contracting for, just go over those numbers one more time
We use an average of 450,000 gallons per day
today.
today. The original contract had 1,000,003. The DEP said that's too high.
Right.
It doesn't give them a fair reading on Butler's actual consumption. You know, there's examples where they might want them to lower the reservoir, and if they're using an inflated number, it doesn't help the DEP do those determinations. We settled at 750, which is enough to encompass housing on Union Ave and any future growth we're planning on. But the bottom line is if someday we're at 900,000 gallons a day, it doesn't make a difference. They'll supply it to us at $2.02 per 1,000 gallons.
So 750 is available to us under the contract.
Under the contract,
Got it.
but we can exceed that if we need to. It's just the DEP.
I was reading into it the other way, as if we're paying for something.
When Administrator Landman went to the DEP for the permits, when Administrator Landman went to the DEP for the permits on the pump station, because remember, we have to go under the bridge, close to the river, that was their recommendation, we had to reduce that.
Okay.
They easily saw what we used with Passaic Valley, and said, why are you doing $1.3 million? So,
Okay.
no big deal. Good. But it's a great deal for the borough, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And is there any further, we had a motion on the table, correct? Any further discussion?
You know, Mayor, I just want to add that, you know, in the work that we do, it's really a rare instance where you're able to really shop around and make this type of change. It's not like you can easily switch. I mean, you're going through certain costs for the long-term savings, but, you know, it's a great effort because the result is the long-term savings. So, you know, a lot of towns they're locked in, and they can't shop around, so you left Passaic Valley, and who was very cooperative to stick around, you know, but you left, and you're able to retool and make that change is really a credit to the borough, because that just doesn't happen. A lot of towns are locked into these type of arrangements, and you have options.
Thank you very much, and which is why in 2015, we didn't renew the Passaic Valley Water, because we would have been locked for 15 more years. So we kind of in a limbo and have to get this resolved. But to Fred's point, the savings is substantial. And I like the fact of dealing with Butler. We have a great working relationship with Butler on every level, and I have full faith in their support of whatever we need going forward.
How many more years?
15 years.
15-year contract?
Yeah.
From 2015. So we're
And that was the contract with Passaic.
15 years.
It was always 15.
Correct.
And now, there's only 2 months, years a year after 2015. Like,
With-
why didn't it kick into 2030?
With
Because we didn't cancel it.
With Passaic Valley?
Yeah.
Because we sent a formal request of termination. So we don't have a contract. They've been kind enough to supply us water on a month-to-month basis.
They were very good about that.
Yeah.
They really are.
I mean, the DEP wanted us to get a contract with our provider, so we tried very hard with Fred's help to get a 1 year. I mean, I told Passaic Valley, I'll sign a 15-year, but I got a 30-day out. And they didn't want to set precedent with other communities, so we're still month-to-month, and we're okay. And the DEP wasn't happy with that, but they see that we're moving on this, so they're not, you know, enforcing a notice of violation or anything on that, so we're in a good place. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So, any other comments before we ask for roll call? Roll call, please.
Hudson,
Yes.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delripa,
Yes. I need a motion for Resolution 2018 5.14, declaring an emergency on the Borough Hall complex damage. Let me get the motion, I'll explain when we
So
proceed.
moved.
Mike, and who seconded it?
Second?
Was that Rich? Thank you. Any discussion? Just so everyone knows, we're declaring an emergency for the repairs to Borough Hall. We're not funding anything, we're not financing anything, but by declaring an emergency allows me to take care of the repairs immediately. So once I get the proceeds from the insurance company, I can just replace the sign, the flagpole, et cetera, without public advertising, because it's affecting, welfare, media performances, et cetera. So, as you know, it compares to when we have storms in the past, we declare an emergency, so we could do things quickly. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. So we'll recoup 100% of our cost. It's already all into the insurance company. I got all the estimates for the new sign, the flagpole, the red maple tree. The only thing I'm waiting on is the repairs to the concrete, our brand-new concrete walls and walkways, but we'll be fine. So I need a roll call on that, please.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delripa?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
The next item is an introduction by title of ordinance number 14, 2018, Municipal Humane Law Enforcement Officer. So give me the motion, and I'll explain the discussion. Who makes that motion?
Second?
Yazdi, seconded by Delaripa. Any discussion? Just simply that the state of New Jersey has changed some rules. Every municipality has to name a municipal humane law enforcement officer. It previously was called the animal cruelty officer. So we have to have this new ordinance on the books. So tonight we're introducing it by title. We're going to do a second final reading on June 12th to give Fred time to prepare. Plus, with our email conversion, I don't want to miss an advertising day and try to do it for May 15th. We might be cutting too close. So obviously, when that's done, then we will appoint Lisa Perry and Jen Adams, our ACOs, to be in that position. The change is simply that now the county's prosecutor office gets involved and deals with these issues. That's the new part of the law. So this is what we have to introduce by title and adopt on June 12th. So there's a motion on the table. Again, all in favor to introduce by title?
Aye.
Aye.
And second and final, June 12th. Great.
An ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey to amend Chapter 5 Animal Control of the Borough Code to establish the position of Municipal Humane Law Enforcement Officer.
Thank you. Final new business item, introduction of bond ordinance 15, 2018, utility bond ordinance. First, who makes the motion, please?
So moved.
We're introducing by title, correct? Second and final, this one I like. Second and final, May 15th. I'm sorry, we had a motion from Rich. Do I have a second? By D'Amato, again to introduce by title. All in favor?
Aye.
Bond ordinance providing for various 2018 water utility acquisitions and improvements by and in the Borough of Bloomingdale and the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, appropriating $525,600 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $525,600 bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof.
Again, I know this is not the public portion discussion, and we'll have that on the 15th, but just real quickly, what we're funding in this bond ordinance is $75,000 for the Red Twig Trail project, where we're not replacing water lines, thank goodness, or sewer lines, but that is for the curb box cost. Might be a little high there. Our guys are going to do the work, and that fee is a rental for equipment, but ultimately that'll save us a fortune, $50,000 when our guys do the curb boxes. Purchase of new water meters. As you know, last year we started a 5-year plan. So this is the second year buying 1/5 of meters for the town. Also in there is a dump trailer for a vehicle, a transfer switch for the generator we already own, but I want to install a transfer switch at the utility department. So if we lose power, they can plug in and have power. But also in here is a Kubota backhoe, and that is still up in the air. It's in the funding. You know, if the council at a later date doesn't want to move on that, then I just don't issue a purchase order. But I would ask the governing body, those who are not familiar with it, to speak with our foreman on that issue, so I know in a month or so the direction if we're going to proceed with that backhoe. And then the 260 of it is the booster station we talked about earlier. And there is about $680,000 of debt we'll be canceling in the utility, so our net reduction will be about $150,000 in the utility, even with this new funding. So thank you. And second and final, again, will be May 15th. At this time, I need a motion for late public comment.
So moved.
All in favor? All right. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Please come on up, state your name and address for the record.
Rich Bell, 16 Pike Street, Bloomingdale, New Jersey.
How are you, Rich?
How you doing?
Good.
About the barricades on Main Street, Mayor.
Yes,
Are they necessary?
I am told by the engineer that they are.
They are?
Maybe not for the phase we're in now, but shortly when they start doing the wall and removing the
Right,
fence.
but I mean, all they do is, for traffic, I mean, the contractors can pick them up and put them on the sidewalks at night.
It's a good point.
Anybody going into Reeves Avenue, I mean,
I know, my son complained about that, making the
Yeah.
left on Reed backs up traffic. Yeah.
and, the public service doesn't even, I mean, they should be able to pick them up, put them on the curb. I can see when the contractor gets going, if somebody backs all the way down the park now, I mean, thank you.
No, I'm just making a note, because I agree with you. Maybe each night we can move them. I mean,
Because I see they park their vehicles in the church parking lot during the day, they don't park them on Main Street.
yeah, some are parking behind the cones. That's a good point. It should
Another
be easy
thing.
enough.
in front of 7-Eleven, there's been a refrigerator box blown up and down Main Street for approximately 3 weeks.
Usually I notice stuff like that.
What?
Usually I notice things like that. Fridge box by 7-Eleven.
It was at the curb the original day, and it's been blown up and down on the sidewalk for 3 weeks.
I'll take care of it. Rich, do me a
Property
favor.
maintenance supervisor.
Yeah, I'll get all over it. But do me a favor. Don't save these things for.
What?
Don't save these things up for now. Call me right away and I'll get
Well,
it
you
done.
got
the
other
same day.
things to do. These are petty.
These are my other things. I'll do it all day long. But anyway, I just say,
You gotta
I'm surprised I
watch-
didn't notice.
You gotta keep an eye out front. Don't worry
Yeah.
about down.
Yeah, tell me about it. Hey, is that light off yet? I haven't noticed that.
I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I gotta look at that one too. Thanks, Rich, very much. Anyone else? Anyone else wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
Honourable President, council members, my name is Ted Lestrange. I'm not resident. My address is 6 Jeffrey Court, Otisville, that's up the road in New York. And I don't have good news, but it's not negative for the borough or the town. In fact, I've entitled this Genocide by Scalpel, because that's a title given by one of the investigators into forced organ harvesting in China. Their updated research concludes that China's hospitals transplant between 60,000 and 100,000 vital human body organs each year. But China has no real organ donation program. Here in the US, with the most sophisticated organ transplant system in the world, a patient can wait up to 3 years for a matching organ to become available. In China, however, the waiting time is measured in weeks. An organ transplant tourist to China, including one from Bloomingdale, can arrange a specific date for the operation, which effectively means that someone will be killed on their behalf on that day. It's a cultural taboo to donate one's organs after death in China. So what's the source of these organs? Translation of these facts wasted tens of thousands of prisoners' conscience each year with organs. Most of these prisoners are conscious of Falun practitioners, but also Tibetans, Buddhists, and House Christians. They're routinely blood tested and the organs examined while held in Chinese forced labor camps, detention centers, and white chambers. On June 13, 2016, the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed Resolution 343, which in its summary section, quote, condemns the practice of state-sanctioned forced labor harvesting in China. Close quote. European Parliament has also passed similar resolutions. This has been happening for over 18 years. It's still particularly so much. And that's why I come before you, elected representatives of the community, to let them be burden on this genocide as acknowledged by the House. China has total control of its own media and well beyond that, so it comes down to this type of work now to demolish that.
Wow.
Many dedicated researchers have gathered an enormous amount of data from current and archived hospital websites, medical journals, local media reports, telephone surveys, and other evidence for the 865 hospitals in China that have performed these transplants. So books are now being written, and documentaries have been produced with more comprehensive information, so for this package for
Good.
your comprehension.
Wonderful. Yeah, please, just we can bring it up to the clerk here. Do you have a sample resolution in that packet by any chance? Okay, I'll find one. Because we could do a resolution opposing as well.
There's a resolution request.
Right. I just want to get a sample, so, great. We will, I assure you at our next
There's some
meeting,
samples of the resolution.
we'll pass a resolution opposing and, just try to get the word out. I do think I saw a documentary about that. It's horrifying. But thank you for enlightening us. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no motion to close late public comment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
There's no late executive session. Governing body schedule, May 15th, June 12th, 26th of June. We don't meet again until the 15th. Cleanup day is the 12th at Vogue Park, 10 a.m. Please come and assist. It's worth the lunch in itself.
Mayor, I neglected to, during the reports, there's a Literacy for Foundation Bloomingdale book sale this Saturday at the
Yes.
Senior Center.
Senior
And
Center.
there's a Fish and Chips fundraiser on Friday, May 11th at 6 o'clock up at Glenwild Lake Clubhouse.
They are posted on our one and only signboard on Union Avenue. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, good stuff. Book sale, yeah, Jen Bell's done it. yeoman's job in organizing that.
Yes, she is.
I thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Bree. Bree's recuperating slowly but surely. She's back full time, so thanks for fighting it out. I need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi.